everyone, what's up? Thanks for joining me today. I'm Jonathan Mathis, the sports judge. Welcome back. The celebration was on Saturday night in Toronto. The Dodgers do it again. Back-to-back champions. So many twists and turns in the final 3 innings of that game. That was crazy. Game 7, Saturday night, was the craziest game and best series I've watched. Nothing remotely comes close to it. Dodgers winning back-to-back hasn't happened too many times in history. So hard to repeat in any sport. Winning is hard. Repeating is harder. Going back-to-back in baseball has to be the toughest. This team, the Los Angeles Dodgers, just when we were ready to doubt them, just when you think they're down and out, they demonstrate resilience and overcome adversity, and they fight. All season long, I talked about it. We watched this team navigate the ups and downs, and it's hard to feel a bit out by what they've achieved. We've seen moments of uncertainty turn into something remarkable. And a series like these against the Blue Jays have a way of reminding you that every team faces moments that test their strength and their character. It's a reminder that each game is different. Each series is different. And as fans and as people who talk about this team, we know this team. We know they have stuck together and continue to fight and believe, and it's shown up what they've done, particularly in games 6 and 7. I have to say, I love the way they fought back. That's a heart of a champion, to do what they did. It is not easy to win back-to-back championships. And when everybody know you're the world champs the year before, they play their best game against you. You got to have a lot of things go your way and some lucky bounces. You got to get some breaks, but you also got to create your own luck. Timely hits, game-changing plays, game-ending double plays, a throw to home plate to get an out. That could possibly swing momentum or decide the outcome of the game. And credit to them. These guys never gave up. They kept grinding it out, never stopped fighting, and are champions again. And clearly, they are the best team that we've seen in baseball in a long time. There's no question they are resilient. They played as a team. Everybody played a specific role in this team. It was not about one person. It was about the team. It was about accomplishing a goal, and that was repeating as champions. And we really didn't know how this game would play out, who would win the series, how it would go. Nobody really knew which way this story was going to go, but the Dodgers held on to what they thought was theirs. I would be lying if I said I had faith in them winning. As someone who roots for this team, let me just say this. I will always instill faith in my team, but I'm a realist, okay? I tell it like it is. And like I said, I don't hold back. I don't shut up. I will call out my team if they're playing really bad. A lot of people that I've seen online gave up on them as well. I felt that our team was dead. Like, what do they do? How do we beat this Blue Jays team? It was that sinking feeling in my gut after that tough Game 5 loss. The quiet disappointment that lingers long after the game is it was over. And through it all, one thing remains true. This is your team. No matter the outcome, no matter how rough it gets, I bleed Dodger Blue. But I just thought the offense missed too many opportunities. Quite possibly the only way I felt we would win this series is if our starters went deep into innings and dominated the way they did against the Milwaukee Brewers and the Philadelphia Phillies. And yes, I'm a Dodgers fan, but I completely, honestly, with everything, I really thought there was no way the Dodgers would go into Toronto and win 2 games in the Rogers Center. It was clear, all serious, the offense was not producing in big spots. I believed wholeheartedly that the Dodgers would not outperform the Toronto Blue Jays when I saw the way this series was going. The fire faded. My belief wavered. When you're talking about the Dodgers, when you're talking about a team that has now 4 aces in their starting rotation and a great lineup, remember that was always the biggest question with the Dodgers, whether it was the year they could win back-to-back, whether this team was good enough to even get back to the World Series, let alone win, whether the offense would finally wake up. And that part had not looked very good, even with Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, and Freddie Freeman. Obviously, you wanted to see more from the offense for the entirety of the series. We know that the Dodgers had the odds stacked against them against the Toronto Blue Jays all series because of the offense that might be as good as Toronto's. Okay, because this offense continued to be non-existent with so many chances to score, I looked at it as if we didn't have much of a chance to beat the Blue Jays, given the way they were making contact, putting the ball in play, getting on, loading the bases, and scoring runs. Everybody was, taking great at-bats, and it just showed the depth of their lineup. While the Dodgers, nobody in our lineup was doing much of anything. They hit 203 as a team in the World Series, got outscored 34-26, and yet when the situation called for them to respond with urgency, they did it with ease. The great ones, the great teams, they find ways to win when the season is on the line. And I mean, they dug deep and relied on playing situational baseball. It was the kind of gritty, grinded out mentality that won the Dodgers the series, as they were on the brink of elimination and the Blue Jays were on the brink of a World Series championship. What did the Dodgers do to be just a little bit better than the Toronto Blue Jays? With their backs against the wall, the Dodgers leaned on elite pitching, clutch defense, and timely hits that flipped momentum. Every at-bat was epic, and every play mattered. When they needed to put hits together and drive runners in and get on base, as we were talking about all series, when it mattered, they did it. But I think for me, when you do stuff that Miguel Rojas did to reverse this team's fortune and give them a spark offensively, this is why I was so enamored with the veteran infielder. Because when he got his moment, he was ready for it. And it was unreal. I feel like Miggy, judged by just 2 games, in large part was everything for this team. The heart and soul of the team. And I think Miggy is a wonderful story. So the Dodgers, obviously, because of his heroics, this year was able to keep their World Series hopes alive. When you see Miguel Rojas, a surprising hero, hit a game-tying home run in the 9th inning to save the Dodgers, you looked and said, man, unbelievable. This game is tied. This guy hadn't hit a home run in a month. The defense, Rojas was a big part of that. The thing, though, when you look at the Dodgers' flaws here, and we all know what they are, and even if they struggled offensively, Rojas' homer saved the night. But the one play everyone's talking about is the defensive play where he backhands a hard hit ground ball, stumbles a bit, throwing home to retire Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, representing the winning run for the Toronto Blue Jays at home plate in the ninth. They were such a different team with him out there. That's the way to get it done. You put in your veteran, and of all people, he was the unlikely hero. That's why the Dodgers forced Game 7 and won it in 7 games, ladies and gentlemen. Will Smith, the big home run, absolutely clutch. That made it 5-4. Andy Pages trucks Kike Hernandez and made the catch, a game-saving play in the ninth inning. And Yamamoto, oh my goodness, that was a performance for the ages, the performance that will be remembered in World Series lore really forever. He throws a complete game in Game 2. You saw him throw 6 innings and a gem last night, Saturday night, and then came back the next night and finished the game 2 2/3 innings. I haven't seen anything like that in a long time. It's unbelievable. I think we saw one of the best individual performances by a pitcher. I can't deny that. The teams that pitch well and that hit the more clutch home runs in each game in the postseason tends to win. That's not a coincidence. You can win a championship a lot of different ways. The Dodgers reminded us of that. Last year, they won with the strength of their bullpen. This year, they used all 4 of their starters in Game 7 to secure another championship. That's a major difference in this year's team while comparing them to last year's team. And again, no, they didn't play their best baseball. Reality of it was Dave Roberts played his cards right. Changed up the lineup, and it worked in their favor. And I guess what it came down to was getting the timely hits with the game on the line, and that's what they did better than the Blue Jays. I had a ton of confidence that the Dodgers pitching was going to be able to shut it down, keep them in games, to be able to be efficient. When your pitchers are constantly turning in quality starts, it gives the whole team a chance to win. You know, just a great overall performance from the Los Angeles Dodgers. That was experience right there. It's just so tough for the Toronto Blue Jays. Just so tough for these Blue Jays who are, man, they were fun to watch. A pain in the ass for sure, but a very fun team. That's a special group they have over there. Congratulations to them on a wonderful season. They had so many chances, a great year, just tough to end the way it did. It's absolutely heartbreaking for the Toronto Blue Jays. The game where they lost in LA, Game 3, the 18-inning loss, and to bounce back the way they did, the guttiest and grittiest bounce back win for a team that had quite the response. And that's what they did so well, is respond with a win after getting knocked down. As soon as it felt, as if they were down and out, they came back swinging, throwing haymakers. The offense for the Blue Jays had gotten to the level where you expected them to compete and make it tough on Dodgers pitching. And that's certainly what they did. Incredible year, and they did it all. They pitched well, they defended well, they ran the bases well, they showed guts, they never gave up. And as you saw all series, the Dodgers had issues with a bunch of guys as competitive as them, and that plays the game as hard as they do, if not harder. 7th game of the World Series, they were just 3 outs away from winning their first World Series title since 1993, and they lost, and in heartbreaking fashion. It is tough, and you'll never forget it. Game 6, it's one of those games they'll look back on and think, what if? What would have been? it hurts for sure. They were, very close. There were games they could have won, but they missed their chances and the ball unfortunately never bounced their way. You would like to be able to take advantage of those opportunities because they may not come around again. You can make an argument, guys, that they outplayed the Dodgers in every facet. Pitching, hitting, base running. A tough one to take at the end, but plenty of positives in how the team grows. And I'm sure they'll learn and go again. What a team, what a series, what a season. But it was experience that won it for the Dodgers. And to beat the champs, I'm going to say that again. To beat the champs, you got to knock them out, baby. Congratulations to the Los Angeles Dodgers on another wonderful season. I mean, it's been an emotional roller coaster ride. It's been a season of ups and downs, but this team fought to the very end, and it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And again, today we celebrated another Dodgers championship. I was there today at Dodger Stadium, and I was gifted with a baseball from a great fan that I met. He said that this is the ball that he caught in Game 5. I'll talk a little bit more about it later because I want to go in depth about this. I want to really tell you guys about this because I feel like it's a cool story and you guys might be interested to hear it. So I'll talk a little bit about that later. But guys, I just wanted to come on because I hadn't gotten around to talking about the final game of the World Series, and I wanted to do that. And I thought this would be a good time to have that conversation. But you guys take care. You guys have a wonderful night. We'll talk again very soon. Thanks for watching.